Well, let's just get to it. How you guys doing? My name's Martin, and you probably know me from my short series, How to Pay Off Your Car Loan in 36 Months Without Giving Up Starbucks or Being Cheap. And why don't you go back and look at my 2014 video on how to pay off your car loan faster. Got 21 views the last 28 days, so our views have gone up from 178 to almost 300. So you guys must like the content, especially when it comes to paying off the car. So take a look. There's some good stuff, and then I'm going to have some better stuff coming out. And I'll go back and give you a little background about how I had a student loan that was about $96,000 that I probably paid till about 80, where I had stopped, and then I had to get it started again. So there's a big history behind why I decided I'd better pay off the car loan faster. So it wasn't because I was a philanthropic person or whatever, like I had like a epiphany, as they say. No, I had to pay it off because I had some serious issues going on. So I'll let you guys know. But today I just wanted to follow up on some stuff you've already heard about. Yes, Nancy Pelosi just sent the articles of impeachment over, and it just got me to thinking, how prepared are you to be impeached? And when I say that, like, are you ready for are you ready to come to work and have rumors of like your job may be in jeopardy? Or are you ready to hear about rumors that your company may be relocating? And it's the same as like how Trump was before he got impeached. There's like always threats and rumors. You better do this, or we better do that, or we're going to impeach you. Is that how it is at your job? Have you taken a couple of pay cuts and now they say, well, after this final pay cut, if we can't turn the company around, we're just going to lay everybody off? So that's what I mean by impeachment. Are they putting is your company already writing up the articles? Have they already sent out the feelers that things may not be going your way? That's what I want you to do. How prepared are you to be impeached? What would you do if you got laid off? I know you're probably saying, Martin, I'm not going to lay off. I have the best job in the world. We've never laid off people. Well, back in 1995, I thought the same thing. There's no way I could get laid off because they said it haven't happened for years. That's when you should be afraid. And what happened? About 6 months, I was having fun, spending money on stuff, got a new car, 1991 Nissan Pathfinder, moved to the Mariposa Apartments off of Long Beach Boulevard in PCH, hanging out in the bars, doing it up. What happens? About a month later, well, we're going to be laying people off, and we'll come up with the final cutoff point with the layoff list about 2 months before we lay off people and finalize the layoffs. And what happens? I go to the layoff notice list, and there's my name right below the cutoff line, which means what? It means I got laid off, and what they've made it suck. I had just gotten a new apartment, had car payments, and I think I had a couple of credit cards. And I also was probably trying to pay back a little student loan. I'm like, it actually happened, but they said it wouldn't happen. So, or you're thinking, Martin, my company won't go out of business. All I have to say is one name, Payless Shoe Stores. That company filed for bankruptcy, came back, opened up a whole bunch of stores, and then 2019 finally closed down for good. Probably had like 20,000 people who got laid off, probably that were working at the retail stores and / fulfillment warehouse places. But then you got to count the people who were the janitors, who handled the delivery, and those businesses that got impacted. And what about all the spaces? Like there's a space in Hemet. I go by, it's still empty. There's a space where the Payless Shoe Store was in San Bernardino, still empty. Or you're thinking, Martin, how about if my company's been in business for years? You know, Jeffrey with Toys R Us. I remember Toys R Us used to be the place, man. I remember when video games came out, that would be the place you would go, and you would just go and buy videos, and that was the place before they started coming up with like GameCon. But GameCon had nothing on Toys R Us. They had like the best games, Atari, Nintendo, when all that big craze came out. And that's not on top of their actual base model, which is basically toys, Hot Wheels, Transformers. Oh, there was something that came out back then, Microbots or something. I remember I bought one of those things, and that was the place to be. That company had thousands of stores, employed over millions of people. Out of business, 2019. finished off for good. They maybe came back with one or two small stores, but you got to compare that to that. You're talking about a company that employed 500 to over 1 million people. You're talking about millions of dollars of retail space gone. And what happens? People lose their job. And then what about the person who takes care of that place that the company was written out? Gone as well. So that's one. And another one, you're thinking, Martin, my company would never move away from California. Well, you know what? If you believe that, I have an island to sell you in the heart of South Central LA, surrounded by water. I remember I talked to a friend, and I was at a team play event, and she this is out in Westlake area. She told me how her husband's friend came to work one day. He went to the office and they were gone. They just said, we're going to fire all the people. And then they just moved away. They didn't even take anybody with them. They just moved away. I have another friend. She works for Carl's Jr. I think they're about to go Chapter 9 or about to have a massive layoff because they've relocated from California supposedly to Tennessee to save money. And they're still struggling. I go in there sometime and the guy asks, do you want a cookie with your Whopper, with your whatever you buy? I think I buy like the Big Burger and stuff like that. I'd be like, man, just give me my food, man. He just like, a 99-cent cookie may keep you in business, but you gotta ask it to me in a proper way, bro. Or if not, just give me my double fries and I'm down, dog. So, and that's another one. I have another friend. I had Toys R. I have one friend move away to Tennessee, and on there, that's not counting Toyota. That was like a massive employer in Torrance, California. And then I remember I talked to a lady, said they gave you the option either to relocate to Texas or get laid off. I mean, these companies don't care, man. They say, are you in or are you out? I just love it, man. But are you ready for a layoff? And I'll give you one trick to help prepare yourself. Do you have any emergency money set in place? What happens if you lose your job and you think, oh, you could get unemployment? Oh, that's the worst myth of all. You know how long it takes to actually finally get those unemployment checks? You're looking at least 3, 4, 5 weeks minimum. You got to fill out the paperwork. They got to verify it. And even after they verify it, you still got to get through the system. And then once you start getting the checks, they're going to be checking with you to make sure, hey, are you looking for a job? Constantly nagging you. They nag you so much, you get off unemployment after 6 months because they drive you crazy. So don't think about that. So what else? Because I'm thinking, I know I would kind of live like sort of like a little, if you looked at my other series about Milli Vanilli, you really don't know what's going on behind people's thing. Like, I remember Milli Vanilli was a great, famous band in the 80s, and they got caught lip singing, and then they sort of lost their reputation, but people gave them a hard time. But the front face is like me on the camera, like I'm talking to you. But actually, it's someone else feeding that information into my head like an earphone, and I'm just repeating you, basically lip singing, and they got into all kind of trouble and stuff. But I like looking at Facebook and stuff, and like you see people. I had like watching one friend, I'm cooking food for my husband, or I just got on a cruise somewhere. And like I always think to myself, do you ever see anyone do that? Say like, they'll show you a picture like, hey, I just got divorced from my wife. Or give you another picture. Hey, I just got fired from my job. Show you that. Or, hey, man, my company just moved away to another country and I don't have a job. So you don't see that kind of stuff. So what I want you to do is like, I want you to think like, hey, you're like Trump. Hey, they may impeach me. Like Trump was prepared for it. After a while, he realized, okay, I can't keep giving in to what they want. Just follow. I must accept my fate. So what did he do? He lined up the Senate. He went out and got to work. Went out, published, campaigned, hustled. He built up collateral in the Senate. So now if there is a layoff, if there is an impeachment vote, he'll be okay. Because what did he do? He prepared. And that's what you have to do for yourself. What are you doing to prepare? How much money do you have saved up? Do you have $100, $200? Or whatever you're doing to help improve your people skills? Are you like, hey, I learned how to Just learn how to just deal with people. People think the computer, like social media and stuff, makes them look good and people are just going to act. No, 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 no. You got to, basically, the more desperate you are and the dumber you are in this new world, the better off you will be. You don't need to be smart. Technology has basically made an entire new level whatever education field, and basically in the next 3 or 4 years you're going to see a lot of colleges, especially poor private ones, go out of business because there really is no use of them. Because what are you teaching me something I can learn on Google and stuff? But I want you to think like Trump. Look how Trump prepared. He has the Senate set up, and even then, he's like, okay, I'm going to get as many people in the House of Representatives to help support me and put off the vote until I can like line up my allies. So, what money do you save up? What skills do you have? That's the secret I want you to do. I want you to think like Trump. Be prepared for your job to be lost, people to hate you, people to like to come for you, man. You got to be prepared. What money do you have saved? Yes, you need to have money saved. Not only money, but you need to just have guts. How desperate are you to survive? Or you just want to live the Milli Vanilli life? Show me you cooking for your husband and cooking for your wife or something, and then the other side, the husband or wife is sleeping around. If that's the kind of life you want to lead, lead it. But hey, at least if you're going to do it, say, honey, I love you, but I'm going to go screw the neighbor. Or if you're the husband, say, honey, I love you, but you didn't lose those 25 pounds. So now I'm going to the strip bar to find my own Cardi B. So as I end today, what happens if you get impeached, lose your job, lay off, your company moves out of California? Hey, worse, what happens if you work at a job and your check gets bounced twice? Are you impeachment proof to handle it, or you just have to turn to the payday loan? Think about that. We'll get to our next webinar series. But today, are you ready to be impeached?